Escomatic coil-fed automatic lathe, model D2 and D4. Setup operator training system. Lesson number 5, setting up belt pulleys and gears. During setup of the Model D2, you will have to change speeds for the tool head, stock straightener rotor, and production rate for the main camshaft. Setup for the Model D4 is the same, except you will also have to change speeds for the drill spindles. Changing production rate gears and belt position is the same for both Model D2 and D4 machines. Information for changing speeds and production rates can be found on your layout sheet for your particular job. The production rate on your layout sheet will be expressed in parts or pieces per minute. The production rate on this layout sheet is 12.5 parts or pieces per minute. To change the production rates on the Escomatic D2 and D4 machine, these 4 production rate gears in the main gearbox must be changed. When changing these gears, you are changing how fast the machine's main camshaft will make 1 revolution. 1 part is usually produced in 1 revolution of the main camshaft. These are the A, B, C, and D mounting positions for the production rate gears in the main gearbox. Each gear is marked with a number. This number specifies the number of teeth on the gear. This production rate chart, mounted on the base of the machine, will show you the gear numbers and their mounting positions. By using this chart and your layout sheet, you will be able to set the proper production rate for your job. On the Model D2 and D4 production rate chart, the 2 columns on the left are part per minute production rates. Across the next 4 columns to the right are the A, B, C, and D production rate gear combinations that will produce those production rates. Notice that the combination of the A and B gears always add up to 140. C and D gears also add up to 140. This fact can be used for a quick check for correct combinations. The 1 and 2 production rates specify belt positions on a set of pulleys located in the base of the machine. By changing the belt positions from 1 to 2, you approximately double your production rate from the same combination of gears. A special note should be taken on the Model D4 production rate chart. When using the indexing feature of the drill turret, belt position 2 is never used. The speed of the machine in belt position 2 will cause damage to the machine when it tries to index at such a high speed. Specified here on the layout sheet are the production rate gears to be used: A47, B93, C70, and D70. Looking at the production rate chart, you will see that production rates of up to 31.5 pieces per minute will occur in either belt position 1 or 2. Note that the gear combinations are different. You must match the production rate and gear combinations from your layout sheet to find the correct production rate belt position. To find the correct belt position, look on the production rate chart in the production rate columns. Follow the column down until a correct production rate and gear combination is found. This production rate is correct, but the gear combination is incorrect. Continue down the columns until the correct production rate and gear combination is found. This combination is correct. Reading up the column, the production rate belt position can be found. In this case, position number 1. To replace the gears, first loosen the 2 thumb screws and remove the cover. Use a gear pushed between gears A and B to keep the gears from turning while loosening the nut on the shaft holding the B and C gears. Move the gear to between gears C and D to hold the gears while loosening the other two nuts. Then remove the 3 nuts. Remove the C and D gears first. Then remove the A and B gears. Replacement gears can be found on the inside of this door on the machine base. Select your new gears for your job and put the old gears back on the door. Mount the new gears with the stamped numbers facing out. Align the keyway on the gear to the key on the shaft. Replace the gear in the A position, B position, C position, and D position in that order. Replace the 3 nuts. Again, put a gear between gears C and D while tightening the nut holding the B and C gears. Move the gear to between gears A and B to hold the gears while tightening the other 2 nuts. Replace the cover and the 2 thumb screws. There is one special case when only 3 gears will be used. Looking at the production rate chart under A, B, C, and D columns, you will find a condition 70-70-70. The B and C gears are replaced by 1 gear with twice the thickness of a single gear. This gear is called a double 70 gear. After replacing the gears, you should check the position of the production rate belt. If necessary, you will have to change its position. Remember, on the Model D4 schematics, if the drill turret indexing is used, belt position 2 cannot be used. The production rate belt and pulleys are located here in the base of the machine. The production rate belt is the vertical belt at the back side of the main motor. Production rate number 1 is when the belt is on the small pulley on the main motor and the large pulley above on the counter shaft. Production rate 2 is when the belt is on the larger pulley on the main motor and on the next smallest pulley on the counter shaft. To move the position of the belt, first raise this lever located here next to the main motor. This raises the motor slightly to loosen tension on the belt. With the tension released, the belt can now be moved to its proper position on the upper pulleys and lower pulleys. Reset the lever next to the main motor to lower the motor. This will put tension back on the belt. Located here on the layout sheet is a specified speed for the rotating tool head RPM. On your layout sheet, tool head speed is called spindle speed. The spindle speed or tool head rotation speed can be adjusted to either 4 or 6,000 RPM. This is the tool head belt and pulleys on the counter shaft located in the base of the machine. Located inside the door to the base of the machine is the belt chart. This chart shows the pulley and belt positions for the 4,000 and 6,000 RPM tool head speeds. When the belt is on the smaller pulley on the motor shaft and the larger pulley above on the counter shaft, the head or spindle speed will be 4,000 RPM. When the belt is on the larger pulley on the motor shaft and the smaller pulley on the counter shaft, head speed will be 6,000 RPM. To change the position of the head belt, loosen this lock lever on the belt tension adjuster. Slide the tension adjuster to the left to release the belt tension. Change the belt to the position specified on your layout sheet. Slide the tension adjuster to the right and tighten the lock lever. When setting up a Model D4 schematic, it will be necessary to also check and change drill spindle speeds. The two drill spindles on the Model D4 schematic can rotate at 3,000, 5,000, 8,000, and 12,000 RPM. Information about drill spindle speeds can be found on your layout sheet. On the layout sheet, drill spindle speed is called drill RPM. For this job, it is specified to be 8,000 RPM. This chart, located on the inside of the machine base door, shows pulley and belt positions for the different drill speeds. As the belt is moved from bigger pulleys to smaller pulleys on the main motor shaft, the drill speed will decrease. Note that as you change the belt to smaller pulleys on the main motor, you will change the belt to larger pulleys on the counter shaft. These are the main motor pulleys and counter shaft pulleys for the drill spindles. To change belt position, loosen the lever on the tension adjuster. Slide the tension adjuster to the left to take tension off the belt. The belt can now be moved to the correct set of pulley grooves. Slide the tension adjuster to the right and tighten the lever. Check the belt to see if it rides properly in the pulleys. The rotating speed of the rotor in the stock straightener will also have to be changed during setup of the Model D2 and D4 schematics. There are 4 possible speeds for the rotor: 700, 1400, 2800, and 4800 RPM. This chart on the rear of the machine shows a list of pulleys and belt combinations and speeds. The column to the left is the RPM of the rotor. A represents the diameter of the top pulley in millimeters. B represents the diameter of the bottom pulley in millimeters. The last column to the right is the belt size used in combination with the pulleys. The same belt is used for the 3 slower speeds. At 4800 RPM, the belt is changed to a slightly smaller belt. Information on straightener rotor speed can be found on your layout sheet. Rotor speed for this particular job is 700 RPM. To change the belt and pulley combination for a straightener rotor speed, you must first loosen the stock derailleur and swing it out of the way. Next, this cover must be removed by loosening these 3 screws. Loosen the bottom 2 screws first. Remove the cover. To release the tension on the belt, raise the straightener motor by hand. Slide the belt off the bottom pulley. To remove the top pulley, this small sleeve must be loosened and slid out of the way. Use a hex wrench. Loosen this set screw and slide the sleeve back into the straightener. Remove the belt. The top pulley can now be removed by loosening this set screw in the pulley. Slide the pulley off the shaft. Install the new pulley by aligning this keyway in the pulley with the key on the shaft. The key on the shaft is removable and may fall out. Slide the pulley onto the shaft and tighten the set screw. Depending on the age of your machine, there are 2 different styles of B or bottom position pulleys. On older machines, all the pulleys would have keys, and the pulleys would all be removed from the straightener motor shaft. To remove the older style pulley, loosen this bolt on the end of the motor shaft. Remove the bolt and washer. Slide the pulley off the shaft. When installing a new pulley, align the keyway on the pulley and the key on the shaft. Slide the pulley on the shaft. Replace the bolt and washer. Tighten the bolt down. On newer machines, the bottom pulleys no longer have keyways. The smallest pulley is always attached to the motor shaft. New, larger size pulleys are slid over this pulley and locked down with 2 set screws. To remove the new style pulleys, loosen the 2 set screws and slide the pulley off. This is the small pulley that will always remain on the motor shaft. All new style pulleys will have 2 set screws to secure them to the shaft. Replace the proper belt. Then slide the small sleeve back into position and tighten its set screw. After installing the bottom pulleys on either the newer or older machines, raise the motor by hand and reinstall the belt. Make sure the belt rides evenly on the pulleys. Replace the cover and the 3 screws. This completes your television training tape on setting up pulleys and gears. Remember, you must be able to name, locate, and explain the components covered in this lesson. You will also be required to set up the gears and pulleys as shown. You may watch this tape as many times as you need. When you have finished watching this tape, return to the written material for your next step.